How's it going, Cancerian community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So, some keywords are feeling blue for the holidays this year, and some people around you just don't get it. But you get it. Keep in mind, people only know what they think they know until they are told differently, Cancerian. It's up to you if you want to keep those defenses up, or if you want to drop some of those defenses to let someone in. Someone of support, though. That is the key. Having support with just one person who understands could mean the world at times to us. You don't have to shoulder this alone. Talk with your guardian angels, Cancerian. And that's the biggest thing is Cancerians, they're very, very good at hiding how they feel from others. You know, sometimes they hide how they feel because they don't want to bring others down. And you know what? I was reading in a book recently that having support can have the biggest impact on us when it comes to us dealing with certain traumas, certain things that hurt us, certain things that take away from our energy, such as our stability, such as our vitality, such as our groundedness within us. So just know that, like I said, leaning on someone or even praying to your guardians, praying to them for support, being able to put out how you feel in some type of way. So let's get started with this introduction. I'm really curious because we have one card that lands over here. Something you're confused on is your intuition. How you have a certain eye out for things. Something else is we have this Queen of Swords that this intuition falls on. You could be feeling like you're acting a little brash with things. You could be going against your intuition because of how you're feeling right now emotionally. Like I said, it's definitely an energy where you have people here who are not understanding what's happening, and you could be a little short with them, opposed to following that intuition and knowing that they really don't know what's going on within you. Something else we have here that you're not seeing is magical power, something that you're at odds, ends with. You don't believe in the divinity of things, I'm hearing to say. You don't believe that somehow, you don't believe that misfortune isn't meant to follow you around all your life. You could be believing that your life is just going to be plagued with misfortune, things happening to you all the time, things that really, really matter. And I don't mean just simple things that are replaceable. I'm talking about things happening to things that are not replaceable. A few other things that you have here that you're very confused on, that you're not really seeing, is definitely the defenses. You're being very defensive. You're holding on to something, but then you're very quick. Like I said, you could be a little irrational at times when it comes to you getting defensive and wanting to put things out, wanting to end things, wanting things to stop, wanting people to stop even messing with you, even though these people are not viewing that. We have creativity here. Be careful how we're weaving our web right now. Be careful about what you're practicing when it comes to your inner knowledge, things that you've learned. Like I said, be careful feeling like the world is out to get you, or feeling like the divine just wants to take things from you. Be very, very careful with that. We have a lot of cards in side position and we have cards in reverse. So definitely you are at odds ends with life in general. With this very moment, could be with how things have worked out, how certain things aren't there anymore. So let's keep going. Let's keep going into the present here. I'm hearing angels, 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 angels. Angels are really talking to you. They really want you to take into consideration, you know, this introduction here when it comes to what you're believing and how you feel like you are going to be without, or just the divine just wants to take the most precious things from you. Please be careful. That is not the divine's MO. Just know that. It can be hard. It definitely can be hard if you've been facing a lot of loss lately. That is something that makes it hard to see clearly. It can make it hard to let go of certain notions, certain things, certain ideas. I'm hearing one card left. What's the last card? What is the last card? Because what we practice when it comes to our beliefs, it will be rippled back to us. So if you believe that you have a bad life, then you will always see life as being bad. And right here, we are unbalanced. We're feeling like we've been robbed of things, I'm hearing to say. And right now, we are just so stuck. When that 10 of Swords is in reverse, it talks about you need to take action. We need to do something a little different here. Yes, we're allowed to hurt. Yes, we're allowed to process. But you have to be careful, again, with how you're going to process this. How you are going to take it out on yourself versus how you are going to honor what once was. What do I mean by that? As a person who has dealt with a lot of loss in my life, a lot of challenges in my life, because overly independent woman here has to pay double just to stay independent. But what I can tell you is when you can make it out of the muck of things, when you can make it out of the dark places, when you can start to see how having certain things only for a certain amount of times was something that you were even really lucky to have. Because if you look around and you look at your journey, you never had something like that before on your journey. And even now it doesn't present itself. Sometimes we always anticipate holding on to the gems in our life forever. But sometimes these gems go for many, many, many different reasons. And sometimes we can't take these gems to the end of our journeys or through all the different phases of our lives. Being able to honor how long you were able to have it and to walk with it and even to know it is a way that you can start to use your intuition and start to redirect your knowledge about things, and especially about how you're weaving this web together on if the divine has it out for you or if you're not meant to have certain happinesses in your life. So let's continue going. So definitely you just feel like you've been undermined. There's been things that have happened that you haven't had any control of. And this is a lot of things happening since your past. It could be a lot of stuff that's happened again since you were younger all the way up until now. And when you think you get a grasp on something, when you think you're headed off into the right direction, it just feels like something always comes in and something's always happening. You can never just have things go right for a little bit, I'm hearing to say. And this is something that is hard. You're almost ready to give up. You're almost ready to kind of just pack it in and become, what I'm hearing to say is like a zombie for the next continuing phases of your life, or the next journey, or part of your journey, the rest of your journey, I should say. And the reason why I say that is I have the Four of Swords and I have the Star, both inside position, and then followed by the Page of Wands in reverse and the Empress. So this has to do with things that you love, and it's just not being able to have them always continue happening in the good moments of your life. And because we're overly focused on this again is really, really wearing you out mentally, but it's wearing you out in your health as well. Something that could be driving you a little crazy is how you go round and round and round about every single gem that you've lost on your journey. And this is really hard. With the World card here, what it could have been is a lot of these gems that were there were gems that brought you security. Gems where you didn't have to face so much on your own without them when it comes to being able to accept change. But without these gems, it's really, really hard to accept change, and it's really, really hard to see how you have stability still. You can have everything taken care of, but because of the loss of these gems, you feel like the very foundations that you walk on have no stability. And it's because, again, you never know when another gem's going to be lost. That's what I feel here for your present. And you just feel like you've just gone in a wrong direction. You've gone in a wrong direction that has left you on your own, opposed to having many people around you. And I don't feel like these people are putting you down who is around you, but I just feel like these people don't understand how you're feeling at this moment. And because they can't understand how you're feeling at this moment, it creates, again, more stuckness for you, more stress for you, more things that are happening to you. It's like one thing after another, after another, after another. I lose my gems, and then I stub my toe, and then something happens, something else happens. And so, okay, what I'm hearing to say is it's almost like a domino effect. So you lose a gem, your vehicle starts to break, things start going crazy at work, and then something starts happening with your health, then something starts happening with your family life. It's like kind of like that domino effect you're feeling in your life. And it seems to get the worse after you lose a gem. Do you lose something important? And that is really, really wearing on your energy. It's really, really wearing on your mentality. And it's even really, really wearing on you being able to even trust in yourself. That's hard. That is very hard. You took both the Queen of Swords energy and you're taking this King of Swords energy, and you're kind of feeding it off of each other, but you're doing it in a reverse way. So when you become unaccepting of things, then this makes you not want to do anything more. It's almost like, why even bother? Why get attached to something when I'm just gonna lose it type of energy. So let's go ahead and call in our angels of protection. Let's figure out what's happening in this block for you. Angels of protection, please help guide us and keep us safe as we go through the Cancerians block, as we navigate this shadow side. Oh my goodness. Four of Swords coming out. The fact that you're staying stuck, that is something that is really weighing on your health the most. You can be unaccepting, and that's happening. That would be okay. But the fact that you're getting stuck, because if you weren't accepting but you were still moving forward, then you would still be making progress. Then we would just need to focus on healing the heart chakra. But here we have the heart chakra and the crown chakra, the root chakra, your third eye chakra. It's just all feeding into being unbalanced because you're not moving. You're not creating any movement. You're not seeing progress for things. You're not seeing other things on your horizon. You're just looking down and focusing so much on the things that you've lost. Yeah, and so two cards that fall out, and we can almost attribute this to two different sides to you. Your feminine side, again, not being accepting and throwing really harsh judgment onto things, whereas on your masculine side, you really hide from that inner emotional wisdom. That inner emotional wisdom that you know deep down that these gems wouldn't want you to feel like this. Whatever it is that you've lost, it wouldn't want to feed into this energy that you're going through right now. But because again, you stay stuck. This is weighing on your health. It actually could be costing you more over focusing on these others who are lost, or others who are not understanding you, because you're having to become so defensive when it comes to others who sit around you. But the thing is we have this Ten of Swords here. It's a big nightmare. It really is a big nightmare. You know, you've made it. You know you're supposed to keep going. But at the same time, you can't help how you feel. You can't help feeling like the rug's gonna be pulled out from under you again. And it's almost like what you're on standby for. That's what I feel like. You're almost waiting for something else to be lost. And with the Emperor here to this Two of Swords, it's what you don't see is that loss is a part of life. And for any Cancerian that I offend at that, I am so sorry. I am sorry in the sense that it stings a little when I say that. But I will tell you this as a person who's lost a lot in my life in many different ways, whether it comes to people, places, things. It's hard. It is really, really, really hard. It's hard to start over. It's hard to try and find reasons why we lose certain things, even though we're working so hard. It's hard to come up with understandings to things that happen that we don't understand. And it's very, very easy to take it out on yourself. And it's very, very easy to live in a world of, or to get sucked into a world of anxieties where we start to live in this kind of energy where we're just expecting always something to happen. And that is something that will leave you stressed out. And I'm hearing to say that will leave your cortisol. I believe that's the hormone, cortisol, something like that. That will leave that hormone levels really high. That's a stress hormone. And when you have that stress hormone going through your body never gets a chance to really recover. So this is a way how stress can affect your health. And just like a little minor kind of note there, please go do your research on how stress can affect you on many different levels. Now, I would almost guarantee whatever's happened in the past, whatever's been lost, if it has to do with people, they wouldn't want you to suffer like this. They wouldn't. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, even though they're not here with us, are they in a better place? Are they suffering less? That is something to take into consideration, because it's almost greedy to try and keep somebody here who is suffering day in and day out, and they don't ever get a break from it. I know those last few statements could offend somebody, but I mean, the hard reality of this dimension is we cannot guarantee something forever. We just can't. Loss is a part of this life. And loss, if we're able to process it, if we're able to move forward from it, could bring on a new energy that helps us honor what we have even more. Honor the days that we have with something even more. Let's go ahead and call in divine and universal energy. I'm hearing to say, please be patient at this time with the people around you. Be patient. They may know what's going on. They may have known what's happened, but their emotional ties to it are not the same as you. It doesn't mean that they care less. It's just how they feel is different. And we are all entitled to that. How we process things is different. But like I said in the vibe, if you open up to somebody who is supportive, then that help creates an energy of understanding, an energy of support for you, especially through this time of the year. All right, let's continue. Divine and universal energy, I'm calling you in as guides and protectors for this positive, or for these positive messages that need to come out here for the conclusion for the Cancerian community. What is it that needs to come out? What is the last card? There's our last card right then and there. I know, they know, I shouldn't say I know, they know. The divine sees you. The divine sees how this weighs on you. The divine also feels you, feels how what has been happening, how the loss of so much has taken away from you feeling like you can fully bloom, like you can fully blossom. But if you look at the words down here, or the word right here, it says resilience. under this person who has such a heavy load. When you're able to find support, whether it's through your guides, a mentor, a psychologist, a therapist, a partner, a friend, a co-worker, a family member, if I didn't say that, etc., 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 then it helps create a less of a weight, and somebody else is here helping you with that load. It is important to have support after traumatic things happen, after the loss of things. This is why there is just not a single human on this planet. And what I'm hearing to say is the divine knows the importance of partnerships, knows the importance of support from each other. And the thing is one day, and this is sad, this is really sad to say, but it is the truth, but one day somebody you know is going to be going through the same losses. And everything that you've learned, everything that you had to go through, I should say, and everything that you were able to heal and get yourself out of these ruts and move forward again, are things that you will call upon, the wisdom, the knowledge that you will call upon to help somebody else get out of the darkness. But it takes a nurturing energy to do it. It takes acceptance, but it also takes having mercy, kindness, and compassion as we climb out of the depths of loss. It's hard. It is very hard. But when you can make that climb, then you will have less effects from the stress on your health, because your stress is going to lessen, especially when it comes to your mentality. Creation. Something here with creation. Could be with the face of another, could be a portrait, could be some kind of picture, some kind of plan. Something that you need to plan out. Maybe invite others too. But there are ways that you can start to honor energies. And you can do it through creation. You know what? A lot of people will go through something traumatic. And it will change their lives. And it will inspire them to want to go off into certain careers that encompass what they went through, because they want to help others out. So there could be something here that you create, and what you don't know is it's going to help bring change, whether for yourself or for others, when it comes to navigating storms that we are at odds ends with when it comes to how things happen to us. So keep that in mind. And attraction. Oh my goodness. This one was at the bottom of the deck after I was cleansing, and in the same direction. Reverse. Be careful, be careful, be careful with how you attract things, how you manifest things, because if you repeat something enough, it's going to start coming towards you. And that's going to be the only thing that you see. So again, like I've spoken, if you feel like the world is out to get you, then everything you will look for in life are signs that the world is out to get you. If you feel like the divine is always here to take things from you, then you will always look at everything that is being taken as a thing that the divine has something against you, that you're not allowed to have certain things. You're not allowed to have certain happinesses, certain loves, certain gems. And it's not that. It's just some things don't last. And it's just the way it goes. I'm being shown a short that I seen. This guy had taken many gems. He had an opal, a garnet, a diamond, a tiger's eye stone. These are all different kind of stones, different kind of gems. And he took a torch to them. A torch, putting them under the fire of things. And some of them popped off and melted. Some of them got singed. Some of them just were no longer there. And one of them kind of lasted. That was the diamond. What I'm getting at is all of our gems we want to hold on to, whether it's people, places, and or things, go through their own extremes in life. Their own extremes that will bump them off, that will take them down to where they can't do anything, will just obliterate stuff or obliterate them, or maybe it won't really tarnish them. You know, our gems have gone through stuff too. Our gems get exposed to things as well, and those things can affect them. So don't just think that it was you and that you had to hold on to all these gems, all these inevitable things that technically you can't really protect from the world's inevitable events that happen to us all. I know that's a hard reality there, but it's something that is true, and it's something that sometimes we have to learn from so that we're not taking the loss of things out on ourselves, creating such a defense with the way that we see things, creating such a defense and feeling like there's no magic. The only magic around is the magic that just takes from us. So we have to be careful what we solidify in the knowledge of things. We can't, because if we solidify that there's no stability, then there would be no stability, creating a judgment that stresses our mental being out, that will stress our physical being out. If you want to progress, then you have to get up. You have to get up and look for that support to help you with this load at this time, to help you get through the loss of things that you love. Because again, only seeing things stuck in your one direction of seeing things has you irritable. Where is it? Irritable. Maybe could be acting a little brash with others around you who aren't feeling the impacts like you are feeling them. And it's not these others' fault. And I think that is something that weighs heavy too, is you feel like because they don't care as much as you do, you know, that makes you be a little harsher with them. No, they just have a little bit of a different view. It doesn't mean that they don't care. They just care a little differently. And that is okay. When we are running an empire, life's inevitable events will happen when it comes to the loss of certain gems in our life. And that is something that we have to work on, unblocking ourselves from the notion that, life just doesn't want us to have anything good last forever. Because, if you really dwell in that energy, that is something that you will always attract. Be careful, because that kind of stress, again, affects your health. It robs you as well. It robs you of stability, of feeling grounded in your journey, feeling like you are allowed to have things that you love around you. It's just sometimes things change, and the storms of change happen because it sets us on the trajectory of learning how to weave our web differently. It can also send us on the trajectory where we create something, maybe for another. Maybe we create something that helps support others through something that we've went through, that they're going through right now. If you make it through this, Cancerian, you will challenge the things that you hold on to. And those are the fears of why the losses have happened. You will gain a wisdom that will help take you, out of the murky depths of the shadow side, of the unknowing, of the self-blaming type of thing. And here you will be able to blossom, because you are going to be in a more nurturing energy, especially when it comes to being faced with any other losses in your life that can happen in the future. This one is a little bit of a hard one, but being able to rebalance yourself is something that is going to be really, really, really important now. Being able to call on your heart, your charisma, that emotional side, instead of closing it off to the world. Because Cancerian, you are a water sign. You are meant to operate, or you're meant to feel things a lot through your emotions. But when you start to close them off, then you start to operate in a different way. And that's through more of the mental being. But that mental being, if it's not balanced, it will take everything and anything out on yourself. So get that support. Pick somebody, anybody, and open up. Allow somebody to help support you through this holiday season. Even if it's just, hey, having a simple conversation with them and just telling them how you really feel about it. Because a lot of times we feel like we need to be happy for the holidays. We need to put on a mask for the holidays, but we're all human. All of us have faced some kind of loss. And for people who want to be ignorant and pretend that it shouldn't hurt, well, then they're just running from stuff. And you don't want to know what they're using for escapism. Let's just say that. That's not for you. You are a hard worker. Look at the things around you. You've worked really, really hard. And you kept your heart in it when you were getting everything that you've worked hard for. You never closed your heart off. So don't let this moment now start to close your heart off. That's one of the important messages here. All right, Cancerian, this is going to conclude it. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for coming in and helping out. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.